Hello, everybody. Welcome. I hope you can all hear me okay. Give me a little thumbs up if you can. Yes, brilliant, amazing. So just take a minute to get yourself comfortable. Ideally, sitting in a chair if you can. It's just a little bit easier to tap when we do this, but really get yourself comfortable with wherever you are, because we're going to be doing an ancestral visualization. So you want to be comfortable, maybe get a little bit of water to hand, and just begin to arrive in the space. Welcome to this session, which is all about ancestral tapping and how we can start to really break free from our negative patterns. I am absolutely fascinated by ancestral tapping. And before we get into a little reflect and release visualization, I want to share with you a study that they did on mice. It was on male mice, and it was really to study generational trauma and how it could potentially be passed down. So they did this experiment where they got the mice to smell some cherry blossoms, and then they gave them a little electric shock on their feet, which of course I don't condone, but this was the experiment. They gave them a little shock every time they smelt the cherry blossom. So they quite quickly started to associate that smell of cherry blossom, with pain and fear. And they realized that even just smelling that smell, the mice would start to shudder. Okay, so they quite quickly associated the smell with that fear and that pain. Then what was fascinating was those male mice went on to have children, and those children had the same response to the smell. Even though they'd never directly experienced that shock, they still would shudder and would have that same fear response. And what's even more interesting is that those mice then went on to have children, and their children had the same response. So that's 2 generations down, and they hadn't been in any direct contact with that trauma. It's fascinating, isn't it? It's really, really interesting. So we really can carry the anxieties of our ancestors, the limiting beliefs, the fears, the phobias. There's lots of different things that really kind of make us who we are. And I like to think of it as, we're the current leader. We're the current leader, and our ancestors are kind of in this like beautiful kind of trickle behind us. So we really are a product of our ancestors and all, that came before us. So anxieties and fears and phobias are one thing. Limiting beliefs can be a little bit more subtle in the way that they can get passed down. So I want to share just a quick example of that before we do the visualization. Let's say your granny used to really put herself down. She was really really detrimental about her looks. Okay, really self-deprecating. Would always put herself down about the way she looks. But she would always tell your mum that she was beautiful and wonderful. And so then that got passed down. Then your mum did the same. So she would really always be so negative about the way she looked, but would tell you that you were beautiful. Now, this is a confusing one because as a generational trauma, what the child is seeing, because children mimic the behavior of their parents. So what they're seeing is that you're telling me that I'm beautiful, but what I'm seeing is that it's not okay to love yourself. And so the limiting belief of not being beautiful enough or not being good enough is passed down. Okay, does that make sense? It's passed down from the grandparent to the parent to, the current day parent. And that's quite a subtle one. So it's a really wonderful practice but take a moment to slow down, and that's exactly what we're going to do now. So get yourselves comfortable, because we're going to do now a reflect and release visualization. So get yourself comfortable and gently close down your eyes. And we're going to begin, before we do this visualization, to start to connect to your breath. So breathing in through the nose And then letting go through your mouth. Breathing in through your nose. Letting go through your mouth. Inhaling through your nose. And exhaling through your mouth. Now bring your breath to a gentle rise and fall. There is nowhere else you need to be other than right here in this moment. As you start to gently tune in to the energy of your ancestors. Remember, when we tune into their energy, we don't need to know any specifics. We don't need to know any details. This is more about a deep inner wisdom, an inner knowing. So I want you now to imagine that you're walking through a beautiful desert. But in this desert, it's nighttime and the stars are twinkling so bright above your head. You take a deep, cleansing breath. You take a moment to look up at the stars and really how beautiful they are in this moment. You take slow and mindful steps throughout this beautiful place in nature. And then in front of you, you see a roaring fire. I want you to gently walk towards that fire for me. As you approach the fire, you feel the warmth on your face, and you notice that there are some people sitting there. They are sitting around the fire, and they all gently turn to you and smile. These are your ancestors, and they are so pleased that you have come to see them today. You see them almost sitting on wooden logs around the fire. The fire's not burning too high, it's just a gentle warmth in the middle of the circle. And you realize that they are all here today because they want you to release something that they weren't able to release. So around this fire, you see 4 generations of your past. You see your great-great-grandparents, your great-grandparents, your grandparents, and your parents. But what you see today is the very best energy of them. So they are not here with limiting beliefs or negative patterns. You see them as the very best energy of themselves. But they want you to release something today. Remember that we don't need the details of our ancestors because we know that they would have lived through many difficult things. We know that they would have lived through wars and poverty and sickness. So gently bring your awareness now to your great-great-grandparents. So this is 4 generations back, or roughly so. I'm 41, I'm about to turn 42. So roughly 4 generations back. They would have been born in around 1863. So the late 19th century, roughly then. And I want you to just tune in to them today. And in this moment, I want you to just take a minute to reflect about what your great-great-grandparents would have lived through. How were they feeling in that time in their life? What struggles might they have had? What loss and grief might they have experienced? Just take a minute to tune in to any traumas that they might have gone through. Remember, this isn't about knowing the details. It's just about an inner wisdom. So you take a deep breath, breathing in, letting go. And you see your great-great-grandparents gently begin to walk towards you. They hand you a piece of paper, and written on the paper is something that they want you to release today. Just take a moment to look down at that paper and notice what you see. Is it grief? Is it a limiting belief? Is it a fear? A phobia? Maybe it's something they've never been able to talk about. Is it something that they carried shame around? Just notice what they've written on that paper. And then say these words to them. Thank you, great-great-grandparents. Thank you for guiding me today. I will help you release. I want you to gently take that piece of paper and I want you to place it in the fire. And as you do, you take a deep breath, breathing in and letting go. And you physically feel that negative pattern or challenge or whatever it was written on that paper begin to leave your body through your breath. And really go out into the universe as you see that negative pattern begin to transform in the fire until it completely disappears. You see your grandparents smiling at you and your great-great-grandparents, and they take a seat back down, as do you. And then you bring your awareness now to your great-grandparents. So this is going roughly 3 generations back. They would have mostly been born in that 19th century to 20th century transition, late 1800s to early 1900s. Just take a moment to bring to mind what they might have gone through. Think of the struggles, the wars, the limiting beliefs they might have had, the stress that they might have experienced. Did they get sent to boarding school? Did they have parents that beat them or shout at them? Really tune in to what your great-grandparents might have been through and how they might have felt. Remember, we don't need to know the details. It's just an inner wisdom and an inner knowing. They smile down at you as you see them gently walk towards you and they hand you a piece of paper. I want you to take a moment to look down at that paper. What negative pattern do they want you to release today? Could be a challenge, an anxiety that they had, grief, a trauma that they went through, anything at all. Just trust whatever they've written on that paper. And then I want you to walk over to that fire and gently place that paper into the fire. And as you do, you take a deep breath, breathing in, letting go. And you physically feel that negative pattern begin to leave your body through your breath and enter the universe. You really see it completely begin to disappear into the flames as it completely transforms. Your great-grandparents thank you for seeing them today. And they gently go to take a seat back down, as do you. And then your grandparents begin to gently walk towards you. You see them smiling down, and you take a deep breath as you tune in to your grandparents. So this is roughly 2 generations back, born approximately 1920s, 1930s. So just take a moment to think about how difficult the world was then. World wars, poverty, starvation, struggles, challenges, trauma, early deaths, diseases. Just really take a moment to think about what they went through and how they were feeling. Again, it's not about the details, it's just about an inner wisdom. So you see there now, you see them both there now in front of you, clearer than ever before. And they gently hand you a piece of paper. What negative pattern do they want you to break? Is it fear, anxiety? Is it a phobia? Is it a limiting belief? Is it lack of confidence? Is it overthinking? Whatever it is, you see it now on that paper. They've written it down for you. And then you take a deep cleansing breath, breathing in and letting go. And then you gently stand up and you place that piece of paper into the fire. And as you do, you take another deep cleansing breath. And you feel that negative pattern, whatever they've written down, begin to leave your body through your breath and go out into the universe. You see the paper in that fire begin to completely transform and disappear. And you see your grandparents thanking you for seeing them today. And then you bring your awareness now to your parents. They gently begin to walk towards you. Remember, this is the best energy of your parents. This isn't your parents with negative patterns or limiting beliefs. It's a really pure energy that you're seeing today. They've come to you in this visualization because they want you to release something today. And they want to take a moment to apologize for unconsciously passing this to you. It could be a past trauma. It could be a limiting belief. It could be an anxiety. It could be a fear. It could be a behavior. Did they shout at you all the time? Is that a pattern that you're trying to break with your own children? What do you see today? Remember, it's the very best energy of their parents, of your parents. And again, they have a message for you. So they hand you the piece of paper. You see them smiling as they do this. And I want you to take a moment to look down at that paper. What pattern do they want you to break today? What do you see in front of you? You take a deep cleansing breath, breathing in and letting go. You physically feel that negative pattern begin to leave your body through your breath and go out into the wider universe. You see that paper begin to completely transform in that fire. You see your parents thanking you for truly seeing them today. And then I want you to say these words. You can say them out loud or in your head. I want you to say, thank you, ancestors. Thank you for guiding me today. And then I want you to imagine that you're looking down now at a piece of paper. And on this piece of paper is a negative pattern that you want to break. It could be a behavior, could be an anxiety or a limiting belief, could be the way you speak to your children, the way you connect to your partner, self-sabotage, could be anything at all. What do you see today? What negative pattern do you want to gently release? Take a deep breath, and on your exhale, you place that into the fire. And then I want you to take another deep cleansing breath. Breathing in, letting go. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers. Gently begin to wiggle your toes. And slowly begin to open your eyes, becoming present to this moment once again. So now you have you've brought to mind a potential pattern that you want to break today. So now we're going to do some tapping. And this is just a great way to really start the process of breaking those generational patterns and ties that we have. So begin by tapping on the karate chop. And you can tune in maybe to the intensity of this negative pattern, giving it an intensity from 0 to 10, like how strongly does this trigger you? Giving it an intensity from 0 to 10, like how strongly does this trigger you, or does this hold you back in life? Just so you can gently give it a number, 0 to 10, or you don't have to worry about the number. It's completely up to you. This just helps us track how we're feeling. And then tapping on the karate chops, that's a side part of your non-dominant hand. Repeat out loud after me. Even though I have this negative pattern that I want to break free from, I love and accept myself and my ancestors. And even though I've carried this negative pattern for a long time, I realize now it's not mine to keep. And even though I have this negative pattern, I love my body. I love my mind. I'm open to the possibility of finally being free. And then you're going to move to the inner eyebrow point, gently closing down the eyes, and repeat after me. This negative pattern. Outer eyebrow. Where did it come from? Underneath the eye. How does it hold me back in life? Underneath the nose. What ancestor gave it to me? Underneath the mouth. This negative pattern prevents me from being who I want to be. Tapping on the chest. It fills me with stress and anxiety. Underneath the arm. It's an invisible weight on my body and mind. Tapping on the head. It might have been passed down through generations. Inner eyebrow. So it's pretty revolutionary. Outer eyebrow. That I'm choosing to break free. Underneath the eye. My ancestors went through so much. Underneath the nose. I am a product of their struggles. Underneath the mouth. I am a product of their achievements. Tapping on the chest. So thank you, ancestors, for all that you've done for me. Underneath the arm, I know the sacrifices you made. Tapping on the head, but it's about time that I broke this generational pattern. Place your palms facing up, shut down your eyes. Take a deep cleansing breath, so breathing in and letting go. Just take a moment to gently tune in to how your body is feeling. And just gently tune in to how you're feeling in this moment. As you very slowly begin to welcome in the idea of releasing something that no longer serves you. Kindly giving it back to your ancestors. Now gently open your eyes and we're going to do one final round. So tapping on the karate chop, repeat out loud after me. Even though I still have this negative pattern that I want to break free from. I love and accept myself and my ancestors. And even though I've carried this negative pattern for so long now, I realize now it's not mine to keep. And even though I have this negative pattern, I choose to be the one who says stop. I choose to break free from this negative pattern. And moving to the inner eyebrow point, closing down the eyes, repeat after me. I choose to break free. Outer eyebrow. I choose to break the cycle. Underneath the eye. I choose to do things differently. Underneath the nose. I choose to break this generational trauma. Underneath the mouth. It ends with me. Tapping on the chest. I choose to feel different. Underneath the arm. I choose to behave differently. Tapping the head. Thank you, ancestors, for all that you've done for me. Inner eyebrow. I am courageous. Outer eyebrow. I am strong. Underneath the eye. I am brave. Underneath the nose. I am good enough. Underneath the mouth. Exactly the way that I am. Tapping on the chest. My voice is important. Underneath the arm. All of my emotions are valid. Tapping on the head. Thank you, ancestors, for guiding me today. Inner eyebrow. Thank you for giving me a new strength. Outer eyebrow. I am never alone. Underneath the eye. I am loved and infinitely talented. Underneath the nose, I am excited. Underneath the mouth, about what my future holds. Tapping on the chest, all of the power I ever need is already inside of me. Underneath the arm, thank you, ancestors. Underneath the arm, thank you, ancestors, for guiding me today. And then tapping on the head, I love all that I was. I love all that I am. I love all that I'm becoming. And then place your palms facing up on your lap. Take a deep cleansing breath. So breathing in and letting go. And take a moment now to gently check in with your body and your mind. You can check in with your number if that's how you are kind of guiding yourself today. Gently check in with the emotional intensity you have, and gently tune in to how you feel in this moment. Having finally given yourself permission to break this negative pattern. And take a moment to be so proud of all that you are, and know that your ancestors are so proud of all that you are and all that you are becoming. You can now gently begin to open your eyes, becoming present to this moment once again. Well done, everybody. That is how you do ancestral tapping to gently start to break free from negative patterns. So well done for doing that, and well done. I hope you enjoyed that visualization. I think it's a lovely way to just gently slow down and really tune in to their energy. Remember, we don't need the details. Quite often you're not going to know what your grandparent was doing in the late 19th century or whatever kind of date you're going back to, but you can just gently tune in to a deep inner wisdom, and whatever they've told you is what they want you to release. This is really powerful kind of deep work. So if you would like some one-to-one sessions with me, that's a great way to work on limiting beliefs, fears, phobias, anxieties, anything that's challenging you. So please get in contact, kim@happyheads.me. I would love to hear from you, and I can't wait to see you in a week's time for the next YouTube Live. Goodbye.